Peter Dutton and Policy Siberia. What a farce. Has this man no shame? Has Peter Dutton gone full fascist? His cheer squad at Rupert Murdoch's The Australian and News Corporation this morning, they were calling it out quite shamelessly themselves. No taboos, no holds barred. Check out the front page. No holds barred. In other words, anything it takes to win, including turning Australians against each other in a complete policy wilderness. They don't have any policies, these guys. What are they going to do? They're going to race bait, they're going to dog whistle, and they're shameless about it. I mean, who is advising them? Is it still Cosby Textor? Is it still the same people that advised the UK government on Brexit, which was a financial economic disaster? The UK economy went nowhere for years. It created dissension. And how did they get Brexit across the line, the Tories? By race baiting. The amount of migrant fear coverage in the mainstream media went through the roof ahead of Brexit. Brexit got up, the yes vote got up, and the UK economy went into absolute tailspin. It was a disaster, even recognised now by the Tories as being a disaster, or many of them. Now, Dutton has obviously taken the view that it's all about anti-Semitism and hard on terror and this kind of thing. And he's got the Murdoch backing all the way, of course. So if you don't back the genocide in Gaza being carried out by the Israeli government of Benjamin Netanyahu, bear in mind, most Jewish people in Israel don't support Netanyahu. They want him out of power. But not Rupert, not Peter Dutton. If you don't back this genocide, then you're anti-Semitic. You're anti-Semitic. You're a Jew hater if you don't back genocide. That is the narrative. Murdoch's screaming about it every day in his newspapers and on Sky News, of course. They're dribbling on about anti-Semitism every day. Anti-Semitism on the rise, they say. Why is it on the rise? Precisely because of them. Because their politicians that they own, their media properties, calling for genocide in Gaza, calling to back Netanyahu. The refusal of politicians and mainstream media to condemn this slaughter of innocent civilians has led to a rise in anti-Semitism, as we predicted right here 4 weeks ago. It was inevitably going to happen. If you're not watching mainstream media in Australia and you look at 14-year-old kids in Palestine on Instagram with millions of followers, or TikTok, what anybody under 40 looks at, anti-Semitism is on the rise. And it is on the rise because of people like Rupert Murdoch, the Murdochs, Peter Dutton, and the feeble government of Anthony Albanese, which has refused to condemn the slaughter of innocents and call for a ceasefire. It is this weakness which has led to the rise in anti-Semitism. It's quite basic. So here we are, the latest from Peter Dutton in his racist race to the bottom, is a full-throated assault on the separation of powers. He called on the Albanese government to blithely dump the rule of law and override the decision of the High Court to end indefinite detention. Why was he doing this? Well, he knows the High Court is independent and there's a thing called separation of powers. He's doing it to rev up hatred for asylum seekers. Hardcore criminals, he calls this lot, despite the High Court's findings. And Albo can't override the High Court anyway, but you can bet he can bring in new legislation to make sure that he's not squeezed on the xenophobia front, that he's on board, that he's tough on borders, tough on anti-Semitism too. This is going to be a nasty, nasty election campaign all the way. Thank you for your support for the West Report. Please subscribe, like, share, comment in the section below. And if you can afford, throw us a few bucks to support the team here